All right, so what the team is gonna ask right now is they're gonna ask you to stand up.
Okay.
They're gonna position you on your stomach, just like a massage table. We're gonna start the harvesting process.
Okay.
As you know, the procedure itself has 3 phases. First phase is the harvesting, which is what we're targeting, 2,700 to 3,000 grafts for you. The second phase is the design. For the design aspect, the design's already there from your previous procedure. We don't want to change the hairline that they gave you, we just want to solidify it and add density. So we're not going to change the existing hairline you have, we're just going to reinforce it, okay? We're going to make the incisions after the design. We're going to give you a lunch break. After lunch, the implantation is going to begin. Okay?
Sounds
Ready?
good. Yep.
We're going to get started pretty
Ready.
soon. Any pain, Chris?
Nope.
Good. How are you feeling down there?
Good.
Good. It's a nice triple. All right, so Christopher, we're done with the harvesting.
Mhm.
We were aiming anywhere between 2,700 to 3,000 grafts. We got almost 2,800 if I'm not mistaken, 2,800 grafts. Most of that is going to go in your zone 1. Zone 1 includes the hairline, going back 2 centimeters, which we have to do at natural density of at least 70 grafts per 1 centimeter square. The more back we go, posterior zones such as zone 2, 3, or 4, that density now drops by half. We do about 35 grafts. Tell me the areas that bother you.
There's where my gray patch is right here. There's a lot of thinning,
Okay.
and then
Reinforce all of the areas that had been previously worked
Yes.
on. Okay. Now, in regards to the design, we can't really do much. We're just gonna have to reinforce the existing design. So usually I like to break down the face into equal balance or equal 1/3. So that way the attention goes to your eyes, to your mid face. So for you, this is gonna look awesome because you have really nice eyes and cheekbones. That's where the concentration is gonna be, the focus. So what we want to do is not really change the design, just keep the existing design, just add more density going in towards the back. Okay? So we're gonna break down the zones, and then we're gonna clip the rest of the hairs on top. Flora, could you tell me what our percentages are?
Yes. For singles, we have 22%, 617.
617 singles. Good. That's most of it is going to chew 400, 450 across the hairline. So we wouldn't be left with much singles after that.
For doubles, we have 45%, 1,257 grafts.
1,000. Okay, that's really good.
And then for triples, we have 923 grafts at 33%.
33% triples. Okay, considering this is your second procedure, right? Your percentages are not bad. We usually like to have 40% doubles, 40% triples and such, but your triples are a little bit less, only because you've had a prior procedure before, and we're working with a donor region that has been harvested into in the past. But that is still really awesome numbers. Anytime we have over 70-75% doubles and triples, that's really awesome. So for you, it's almost 80%, 70% doubles and triples, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're going to disinfect the scalp on top. We're going to outline the existing design, and then we're gonna shave the rest of the hairs.
Okay.
Okay, look up a bit. All right, we're gonna measure chin to eyebrow. You're at 14. Ideally, the perfect location would be at 7.5. So, okay, that would have been an ideal location. You are, instead of 7, you are at 5.5. So basically, you're 1.5 centimeters lower than what I would have placed the hairline on. So let me show you the mirror. Take a look. Chin to eyebrows, 14. Half of that number is 7. So basically, when I measured from the eyebrow to 7, this is where it would be ideally. If it was a bit higher, you would have equal proportions. But now we have no choice but to do it at 5.5 because that is your existing, which it'll still complement your features, but this is more on the aggressive side. So we can always drop a hairline lower, but it's difficult for us to raise a hairline after it's been transplanted into. So what we have to do is just work with what we have and just make the best out of it and make it look awesome density, give you awesome density. Okay, you have any questions for me?
No.
No? Okay, awesome. So let's work on the design.
Okay.
Break down the zones. Look up a bit for me. Perfect. Can we have alcohol? And let's measure your temple angle closure and see how far it reaches from the center of the forehead towards your temples and get a surface area idea. You are at 9.5, almost 10. 9.5, almost 10. That means you have a surface area that's almost 20 on this right side, almost 20 on that left side, okay? That's where most of your grafts are gonna be chewed up to.
Okay.
So, Christopher, this is the outline that you have right now. This is your existing hairline. We didn't drop it. We went exactly on where your hair starts, right here. This is one of them. You see that?
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to reinforce this and cover as much as we can, especially these bare areas.
Yeah.
We're not changing the look. We're just reinforcing it. Your left, slightly higher, slightly different than your left. Okay? So this is your left, this is the right, so they're slightly different, which is also fine, because that's what's going to give it a more natural look versus it being too perfect and too identical. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down the zones, and then we're going to shave the rest of the hairs. Okay,
sounds good.
Also, Christopher, what I want to do for you is I want to do PRP, platelet-rich plasma. It's using your own blood and the growth factors found in your platelets that just helps you get stronger results, quicker growth, helps you heal, recovery. Would you want me to take care of that for you?
Yeah, I actually saw some videos on that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool.
Awesome. So we'll do that for you as well.
Okay.
We'll throw that in for you.
Yay.
Okay. And we'll take care of that just to make this look really awesome.
Okay.
Okay, and increase the survival rate as well. It helps, the PRP helps with that. And you know, you should see results about 4 to 6 weeks sooner versus without it, and a lot of it will stay instead of it shedding and falling out. Okay? All right, so let me go over with you. What I just did. Take a look. First 2 centimeters is zone 1.
Okay.
The next 5 after zone 1 is zone 2. Okay, this is where zone 2 ends. This is the strongest part for you, but this initial part, the beginning part of zone 2 has thinned out. Okay, so this is where zone 1 starts. This is where zone 1 ends. This area that zone 1 ends is the beginning of zone 2. This typically goes the next 5, but the only areas that I see you have the biggest amount of issue is about 1 centimeter worth. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus here at the very front. Any extra that we're gonna have, we're gonna use to reinforce between these two lines.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because everything else here is nice and solid.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna shave the hairs, okay?
Okay. Ready.
All right. Ready for the shave,
Yes.
Chris?
The last
Want
time,
me to shave the whole thing off?
yeah. The last time I done this was 7 years ago. Never had a bike head since then. And I did the ugly thing when I had my first hair transplant. I always shaved this part, so I looked like a monk, like an Asian monk.
That's funny.
And I kept my long hair. It was bad.
Close your eyes. Try not to move, okay?
Okay.
You have a fresh marker, please. Turn slightly this way. Beautiful. I'm gonna show you the mirror.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand you the mirror. I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Take a look.
Looks good.
Right? You see how the right and the left are very similar, but they're not perfectly identical?
Mm-hmm.
This is what is going to chew roughly around 2,500 grafts just in the very front for you.
Okay.
The additional we're going to place in zones 2, roughly around 300 or so.
Okay.
Okay, in between the existing. What do you think?
Good.
Good. So this is zone 1, the first 2 centimeters. Let's have a marker. And zone 2 is the next 5. Let's have a marker. Ruler. Which would be starting where zone 1 ends, and this falls under zone 2 right here. Okay? But most of the focus is going to be in zone 1.
Okay.
All right. What have we done so far, Chris, and what do we have left? The procedure, as you know, has 3 phases. First phase was like a breeze, the harvesting. We slowed down a little bit because you had a little bit more bleeding. Also because we have that scar in the way.
Yes.
So we had to do certain calculations just to make sure we don't come too close to that scar for it to be overly harvested and for it not to show. Okay. The second phase, we're already halfway through. Design. Now we have to finish the second half of the second phase, which is the incisions. Incisions are the tiny little pockets of what we harvested earlier during phase 1 from the donor region. This is what's going to be implanted into.
Okay.
So we're done with harvesting. Second phase, we're done with the design. Now we have to finish the second half of the second phase, which is the incisions. After incisions, this is going to take about an hour and a half. We're going to give you a lunch break.
Okay.
After lunch, you get to watch a movie, TV show, and we'll conclude the day with the implantation.
Okay.
Before we start the implantation, we're also going to do the PRP for you as well.
Cool.
Okay, so as soon as we have the growth factors in your scalp and the recipient site, then we'll get started with the implantation, and your grafts will take much better with them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What's coming up next?
Incision.
Incisions, but before we start the incisions, we have to numb the scalp. How do we numb the scalp? There's 2 quick pokes you will get on the right eyebrow. You would get 2 quick pokes on the left eyebrow. The supratrochlear and orbital nerves nourish the sensation on top. By doing 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, most of the scalp on top will be numb. Okay?
Okay.
This is the worst part for this phase. It goes by very quick, 2 seconds on each side. Okay? Going to disinfect right now. Get you in position. How's it been for you so far today?
Pretty good.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it
Very
better than you
relaxing.
thought? Worse than you
Yeah.
thought?
The only discomfort was just having my head in one spot for a while.
And that,
Everything else was painless.
like the massage bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Usually your
yeah.
sinuses drain, you have difficulty breathing, but blow your nose and everything's good. Okay. Close your eyes. We're gonna disinfect, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're going to numb. Okay, I'm gonna feel for the nerve. This is the worst part, okay? Apologies. Let's clean the face. There's a few pieces of hairs. Alright, Flora, if you wanna come on over the other way. Okay. Christopher, do me a favor. Place that right here. Do me a favor, Chris. Do not make any sudden movements of the head, okay? This is gonna go very quickly. By the time you say ouch, we're already done. Feeling for the nerve. This is one right here. This is the second one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
On the count of 3. Take a deep breath. Here we go. Don't move. Whatever you do, try not to move. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Very quick. And here comes the second one. Try not to move. 1, 2, 3. Did great. Right side's done. These are tear jerkers. Tears will come out of your eyes and you're not even crying, okay? Your forehead's gonna feel super numb.
Alright.
But you did awesome. Right side's done. Now we're gonna do the left. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Try not to move. Count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Don't move. Beautiful. And one more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. You did it. You see how quick that goes by?
Yeah. Thank God.
This is the worst part. Okay? You did awesome. I'm going to go back in the right eyebrow and the left eyebrow. It's going to be completely numb. You shouldn't feel anything.
Okay.
Most clients say, did you already do it? I'm like, yes. Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath for me. What? Take a deep breath. You're going to go one more time. Vibration for.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Apologies. Does that hurt?
Now I feel it.
Good. There we go. That's the whole plan. Does that hurt?
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Pain scale, 10 being the worst, 1 not so much.
In the beginning, probably a 5. That
How-
one.
the second one?
That one was nothing.
Like a 0?
I didn't feel it.
Okay, good. All right, and we're gonna do second one on this left. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do second one again here. 1, 2, 3. Does it hurt?
No.
Pain scale?
0.
0. Good. That means we got the nerve. We did
It's
it.
pretty cool.
Good. So I'm gonna wait about 2 or 3 minutes. Allow this to start working all the way on top.
Okay.
So this was the worst part. You did it.
Cool.
Okay. The rest, a few more seconds on the right temple, left temple, just the corners.
Mm-hmm.
But most of this should be nice and numb. You feel how this is going numb?
Yeah.
That's the trick. By doing 2 on each side, you shouldn't feel most of the incisions on top.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna get sterile, I'm gonna get gloved up. And we're gonna start the incisions, okay?
Okay.
Like I said, these are tear jerkers, so if tears are coming out of your eyes, it's normal.
Okay, my dear, so we're gonna do PRP now,
Okay.
and I'm gonna draw a little bit of your blood. Try not to move your head while he's still working, okay? We're almost done with incisions, and we're gonna be moving on soon to your lunchtime. But first we're going to take some blood and get it spun, so that way we can use your growth factors found in your platelets to boost your follicles. You won't feel anything. Just going to flush the line.
We're almost done back here as well.
Just about done, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're all done collecting the blood. We're just gonna flush your line really quickly, and then I'm gonna take it back to get spun, where it can separate the platelets. And then when you come back from lunch, we're gonna introduce it to your scalp to help boost the area we're gonna be working in. So that way we can get some early growth and fast healing, okay?
Sounds great.
Alrighty.
All right, Christopher. We're done with the incisions. You haven't seen it yet, have you? Okay, so I'm gonna hand you the mirror. So, by the way, what ended up happening is the surface area size was a little bit larger. So we ended up with extra 288 incisions. So earlier we harvested, I want to say, 2797 grafts. So we are short by 288 grafts. Total incisions you received was 3,085. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, because we did harvest earlier 2,797 grafts, we're short by 288 grafts. So we're gonna start the harvesting phase again, harvest that extra additional grafts, so we place them in the incisions. Didn't want your area to go without the grafts that I thought it needed. Okay, so we're gonna harvest a few more grafts, a few more minutes, and then we're gonna break for lunch. But let me show you your new hairline. Like I said, we did not change your hairline to the existing hairline. We just added density. Okay, so you're gonna notice it's a little bruised. You were bleeding a little bit. Your hairline has elevated, it's swollen. Take a look at that. This is going to drop, okay, the next 3 to 5 days. What do you think?
It's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
So all of this redness would go away in a few hours, within a day or two. Okay?
Okay.
That's only because you have thin blood, you have a little bit more bruising. But the design actually turned out really awesome. The density you got is super, super dense in this small area, which is not that small, by the way, because since your temple angle connection closure is at 10, so you have extra surface area than the average client, patient. But we covered you really nicely up to first half of zone 2. What do you think?
I love it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You're gonna have super density.
I was always jealous of my friends that had like full density hair. So
Awesome. Now they're gonna be jealous of
Yeah.
yours. Awesome. All right, Chris. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to cover you up again, and then we're gonna get that additional few hundred grafts to 288,
okay.
and we'll break for lunch afterwards. Okay?
Sounds good.
You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So we have Christopher's PRP. So this is what it looks like. This top portion is the PPP, the platelet poor plasma. What we want, the growth factors are heavier, so they settle in the bottom. And the poor, which are lighter in weight, they float. So what we want to do is, as soon as we see air bubbles, we want to pull away. There we go, air bubbles. And now, this is the area that we really want. The concentration of all the platelets and the growth factors at the very bottom and the platelet-rich plasma on top. So we're going to mix this up very slowly. And we're going to inject this into the area that we just made the incisions right before the implantation begins. And this should help him with the recovery process and see better outcomes, stronger outcomes. And that's it. Going to start to inject all of this in. Christopher, we're going to start the PRP process. You shouldn't really feel anything, okay? It's going to be completely numb.
Great.
There we go. How was that? Does that hurt?
I don't feel anything.
You did great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is going to help with taking the grafts much stronger, healing, recovery, okay? You'll be amazed how quick you're going to see results versus if you didn't have any of the PRP done today.
I think the last time I started seeing results at like 3 months.
3 months. You might notice that 4 to 6 weeks sooner.
Great.
All right. So basically you have about 2.5 more hours. Okay. We're going to start the implantation. I'm just going to map out the area. If I could please have a marker. Any pain?
No.
Beautiful. Have the numbers again, please. How many triples with the new number?
We have 984 triples.
Okay. So all of this, let's have a fresh marker, please. Okay. And let's do doubles here like this. Awesome, and everything, all the singles in the very back down now, okay? So we're gonna have 3 to 4 rows of singles in the very front. All the singles go 3 to 4 rows up. We have about 10 rows back of triples on each side. The triples should go a little bit more into up to here, like a t-shirt. 2s behind the 3s, and then 1s all in the back, okay? So a few more hours, and we're all done.
Great.
Terminal failure en route to Mars. Phobos 2 attained Mars orbit, but contact was lost before the final phase prior to deployment of a planned Phobos lander. Phobos 1 operated normally until an expected communication session on September 2nd failed to occur. The failure of controllers to regain contact with the spacecraft was traced to an error in which they had deactivated the attitude thrust.
All right, Chris, we're all done. We did the wash for you. We cleaned the donor region. We applied an antibiotic cream. We sealed the donor region. We want that sealed until you come back tomorrow. And as soon as you get to your house, you want to remove the cap back to front.
Okay.
So hold the mirror. Keep in mind, what you're going to see now is not the final placement of the hairline. The hairline is going to take between 3 to 7 days for it to actually settle down. It's going to come down by 1.5 centimeters, maybe even a little bit more for you.
Okay.
This way and this way. Everything's expanded.
Yes,
Okay?
I've done that.
So your scalp is a little bit red. You were bleeding a little bit more, but this is how it looks after at the end of the day.
Wow.
Okay, keep your chin up for me.
Sorry.
Yeah, and you want to raise the mirror up instead of you bringing your chin down.
Wow.
What do you think? All of that 3,100 and plus grafts went between your zones 1 and basically the very beginning of zone 2.
That's packed in there.
That's jam-packed in there.
I love it.
You like it?
Yeah.
So this was your existing hairline. We didn't drop your hairline. We just reinforced it. We gave you that curvature you wanted on the sides. This is called a temple angle closure. This is what frames your face once everything grows out. It's going to take about a year, 14 months, 100%. You have some bruising, some redness. It'll go away by tomorrow or within a few days afterwards. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I'm impressed.
You like it?
I'm shocked.
You're shocked. Why are you shocked?
My last time I got a hair transplant, the density wasn't quite as much.
I see.
So this is just packed in there.
This is exactly. This is what's gonna yield you that high density that we want. Just want to make sure you don't hit your head, you don't catch an infection. Those are the two most common reasons why a hair transplant is not as successful. Is when there's trauma, and it's usually in the car when they're going in or going out, or cabinetry, or you catch an infection. You ignore a pimple or two and they join, and then you catch an abscess and then that area doesn't grow. Okay? So, this is what you were looking for?
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So this is where I go, do you like it or do you love it?
I love it.
You love it? You did awesome, Chris.
Thank you.
It's gonna look amazing, just give it time, okay? Good job.
Like compared to how it was before, like oh my dang.
Yeah, it's gonna look super awesome. You're just gonna have some redness, right? Just give it time. It could be 2 days, 2 weeks. I've seen redness last as much as 3.5 months.
This thing right here that's going on right in the corner, whatever, that lasted for a while when I had it before.